It's 2 a.m. in the night, and frankly, I did not get enough time in the day to check out my position. So, right now, before ending my day, I'll quickly go and check on Draconic what the post trade analysis is. So, I'll just ask Draconic to see if it has got my current position. So, I'll ask, hello. So, I asked Draconic what my current position is, and it gave me the update of my current position. I'll check from my broker as well. It shows me my two positions. One of them is closed out, the other one is still active. What I really want to understand is during the entire day, what all happened with the option? Did it go up? Did it go down? How did the market move? How did the option change? And what it led to finally at the end of the day, and what I can expect tomorrow and the coming week forward. So as usual, I'll just ask it, can you tell me what happened so far in the day with 23,800 CE option, and how do things look right now? Ideally, it gives you a broad answer of what will happen in the market, but the responses you'll see, it's like a professional hedge fund or a professional prop desk trader. It understands all the smart money concepts or the VCP concepts. It understands the option chain. It understands the global world data, and based on that, it gives you some concrete results that are actionable insights, and you don't have to do it on your own, because normally when you're trading, it takes 5 to 10 minutes of your own personal time, and during the day when you're trading, you really need all these things at your fingertips. The result that we see, what all exactly happened as of closing, it tried on the 15-minute basis. Nifty closed virtually flat, but this was a very high volatile session. I remember, because at the start of the day the markets were down, and then somewhere during the day they have recovered. We see what exactly happened. The momentum, the velocity increased. The option skew, put call ratio is at 0.80. For anyone who understands an option chain, this is a very important number. And then it says what all exactly happened with the implied volatility. So premium inflated, but they are decaying. This information is highly personalized to my option or to my positions as well. So obviously we can go out and explore what is happening in the markets, but the information and the context stays highly relevant to what my current position is. We'll try to read up more what exactly happened on the spot cycle, the option compression, the strike activity. So 23,800 saw 724 short build up. Now we obviously can ask it further to break this down, but I'll show you how I typically operate as a trader, and then what are the different ways in which this tool can exactly be used. Now it definitely shows us important resistance level, as on the current market basis in the 15 minutes time frame. 23,279 is a strong resistance. This was the session high, and then this is the current strike. These are the two important support zones, which are relatively close at just 75 points movement, and it tells you what exactly is happening. Upward extension, where can we expect the big momentum? At 23,280 levels, if the breakout is with volume, we can see a positive momentum, and the target should be 23,300. Right. Now, if you are a fundamental based investor that has got a directional sense of Nifty, say you are of the opinion that in the coming 1 or 2 weeks, we expect that the Nifty to rally. What could be the key factors? So if I am a fundamental investor, there are different personas and different ways in which you can use Draconic, but the simplest and the most basic way is track the fundamental changes in the last 2-3 days, especially around Indian markets. We can also include the global market analysis, the crypto markets, or the forex market. It has got context to everything, but I'll try to stick to the Indian context, because that is what I find highly relevant when it comes to specifically Nifty. Let me also include crude analysis. I'll say also analyze crude liquidity on global fronts, news specific to Indian markets, and RBI updates, because these are the things that affected the moves. Now these prompts can be saved, and as you go on, the bot, the Draconic platform, learns your trading profile, and every time you ask it different questions, it understands what is the analysis that you're looking for. So if I just simply hit submit, it will go do the search, and while it does it, you see this is a pure fundamental analysis. I did not ask it to cater it or specifically frame the answer that is good or bad per my portfolio. It tries to remain neutral and gives us a macro overview of what exactly happened. So the RBI monetary policy decision, this was a big update that happened. It is this happened about 5 days ago, but this is still very relevant in today's context. So we all know that the repo rate kept unchanged, so that's nothing major. Then we see that global liquidity in crude oil, what exactly is happening. Crude oil pressure exists in the recent times. It is also affecting the margins of the domestic PSU holdings. Global liquidity and emerging markets debt, this tells you what the debt position is. But if we see here, this is probably the most important analysis that you need as a Nifty trader. It is intelligent enough to understand that for a Nifty trader, these are the kind of information that is relevant. So for example, if we see the banking sector, what is the composite strength of the sector and what is the advance and decline ratio? We see 14 advances and 0 decline in banking. In the FMCG sector, we see 9 advances and 1 decline. In the IT services, we see that there are 4 advances and 6 decline. So the sector that is dragging Nifty down is IT services, but banking, FMCG and automotive, these are the ones that are actually trying to rally or pick up Nifty or make it go upwards. So these are the sectors, if we see a strength continuing, then we can see Nifty rallying up to the levels of 23,500. Now, obviously it gives us a good fundamental analysis viewpoint, but it also makes sure to give us a good trading fundamental key points. So VWAP is a very important trading instrument that is used, an indicator that is used on an intraday time frame, and we see what exactly happened. It tells us that about 73% of the instruments are trading above their VWAP, which shows a bullish trend in the market. And now, for example, if I want to pay close attention to the technicals, so to get me the technical analysis, that is key important support resistance zone. Alright, now we did not necessarily need to explicitly specify the support and resistance. The platform is smart enough to understand the fair value gap, the smart money concepts. So what we are seeing right now is it tells us the trend, the momentum, the volatility state using the Bollinger Bands, and the positioning, put call ratio. And then it tells us what are the key important technical levels. And if we say what is the intraday trading strategy, it says smart money concept imbalances, order block defenses. If I just ask it, show me these important levels of Nifty on the chart. And this is something very interesting about the platform. You can see that within the same chart window, we are seeing the important Nifty chart. What are the key important zones? It tells me this is the resistance 2, this is the resistance 1, this is support 1, this is support 2. It tells us this is the tested zone. And then if we also see, it has marked the swing lows, swing highs. So at the end of the day, we can clearly see that the trend of the market has become bullish. And so if we go down, it tells us a lot of the important support, resistance, option barrier, breakout levels, smart money concept imbalances, bullish fair value gap. This exactly what we see is very, very important for a technical analyst. But if you are like me, who's also very interested in option chain, because about 90 to 95% of the activity that happens in the market happens in the derivative market and not the cash segment. Therefore, it is very important to analyze the option chain. So I'll just ask Draconic, because what usually happens is every 5 or 10 minutes, you see a change happening in option chain. What changed in the option chain? And get me the latest option chain analysis. It tells me that there is a structural shift since yesterday's session. The spot price closed flat and there was during the intraday aggressive short positioning, and there was a highly negative gamma regime. Now, if you're new to this might be slightly complex for you, but as an experienced trader, these are the things that any option trader needs to understand. The good thing is, if you're not sure what exactly is gamma regime, you can just ask it. But if you look at the analysis that it presented, told me the put call ratio, profit and loss premium flow, the total GX, implied volatility trend, and these are the important zones where we see where the immediate support is happening. Here, short put build up was acting as a strong downside cushion. We see this is the current strike price very close to it. This is the at the money strike price 23,300. This is the major resistance. There was massive call writing which happened at 23,400. There was a moderate call concentration. So tomorrow going forward, if I see a small gap up opening and I see the 23,300 level breaking down, we might see a major short covering happening in the markets. There is even more detailed analysis But what I like more and what I'm more interested towards is something which I find very, very fascinating, because this has helped me quite some time. We select the instrument that we want to trade the trade on or to generate the alert. So it's Nifty 50. And if we go to the momentum section, all right, this is something that I find very important. Initially, what used to happen is I used to draw static support resistance zone, and I used to put alert on my broker or on TradingView that if at 23,330 level is broken, generate me a signal. But very rarely it happens that the market dynamics are static. That's why you need really smart signals. So for example, if we see this is a squeeze breakout, when the price has been compressed in a tight range for several candles and volatility starts exploding, this sequence is breaking. In the momentum trading, this is very close to VCP, a very proven, well-known strategy. So whenever I see this happening, usually this is followed by a sharp short covering and fresh call positions are bought in, leading to a good significant 70 to 80 point rally. So I would want to set an alert here. That's one alert that I work with every day. And then I'll pick another alert to be placed on the same Nifty 50 instrument. We go to Nifty 50 and we see there are different kind of indicators: market wide signal, key levels, traps, trend change. So I go to trend change and I go to trend reversal. Now this tells me whenever the first time we are seeing the trend reversal, we first mark as soon as we see a reversal happening, and whenever the breakout exists from a tight compression region, that's where we are guaranteed to get 70 to 80 points in quick short bursts. So once these alerts are set, if you have connected your Telegram, you can go over here, you can go to your profile and you can actually go to connectors and connect your Telegram. But otherwise, even if you are on the trading terminal, this directly shows the notifications on your screen. So these are the smart strategies. And any given time, whenever the market dynamics are changing, you do not need to monitor the markets 24/7. You keep on checking in with the Draconic platform and you just come and tell it what changed in the last 2 hours and it will give you the answers. And the reason why this works perfectly in my workflow is because at a given time, there are 4 or 5 different instruments that I have to track and take a trade on. If that's the case, it usually becomes very difficult for me to follow the news, to follow the option chain, to follow the price movement, and to follow 5 or 6 different instruments in the same given screen. And that's why this helps me to catch up every 1 or 2 hours whatever changed. And while we are asking all these questions, Draconic already knows what my current active positions are, what my trading strategy is, what my trading style is, what my risk reward portfolio is. And that's why after I have taken a trade in the markets, I come to Draconic and I simply ask it, dude, what are the different scenarios that can play out and how can I see my profit and loss being affected by it? And as you can see, the answer to this question obviously depends on 3 very important factors, which is delta, vega and theta. Now, if you are new to options, you might find this very confusing, but the good part is if you ask it any question or any doubt that you have, it answers you and it explains you everything in detail. But if you see the answer that it generates, tells me what is the option position profile, what happened on the 15-minute time frame, what is the current scenario, the last traded price, the current delta, the theta decay or the vega exposure. And it tells me what my market different scenarios and profit and loss metrics can be. We see different scenarios playing out, that is bullish squeeze, sideways decay and downward flush. The other different scenarios that it had played out for me were the different risk parameters. So if you provide the size of your portfolio, as I provided it, about 50 lakh, and it tells me that my stated risk limit that I have allocated it is that I do not take more than 2% risk per trade. So it tells me that the maximum threshold of the maximum entry that I can take is 1 lakh. Now since my total capital deployed in this trade is 11,000, other than that, it has played out all the different scenarios that can happen of what can happen today, tomorrow and at the time of expiry. All these things are covered with a single question, and this actually helps me sleep better and get me directional sense that what all can happen with my option strategy, so that when I open my terminal tomorrow, when I'm actually taking the trades or when I'm actually planning my trades, I know what all can happen with my positions, if I take any fresh positions or if I double down on my existing position, or should I just quit. And therefore I do not need to monitor the live trade in my old format. I can define what matters, let Draconic watch it for me, and I re-enter with exactly the context that I was away from, making it very easy for me to get back in the trade.